Hey everybody, this is Jason back with another review of 11/22/63. This time we are on episode 6, which is titled Happy Birthday, Lee Harvey Oswald. And just by that title alone, there's a little bit of problem I have with this. However, we'll discuss to see what my opinion of the entire episode. So let's go ahead and get started. So in the beginning, you actually find out that Lee Harvey Oswald finally is interviewed for his job at the school book depository. So I thought that was a pretty cool scene. You know, they had to put that in there. It's not too far before the assassination, so I thought that was pretty cool. You know, and you meet a guy named Bonnie Ray, and he's the one that takes Lee Harvey Oswald and shows him around. It just shows him a little bit, but this is the guy that apparently witnesses Lee Harvey Oswald in the 6th floor area on 11/22/63. So he was a key witness in pointing out that Lee Harvey Oswald was up there during this time. So that's why they put them in there. I thought that was pretty cool. Even though he only has a few parts here, I thought that was pretty cool. You are then introduced with a FBI agent, Agent Hosty, who's played by I think Gil Bellows is his name, and he's known also in other roles, but also known for in the Shawshank Redemption. So he's a memorable character in the Shawshank Redemption, and he came back to do a small role here, and he did a great job. He is the FBI agent that supposedly is assigned to Lee Harvey Oswald, and this is where he is, as Lee Harvey Oswald's leaving the depository building, he is waiting there for him, and he talks to him briefly and as he walks away. So I thought that was a pretty cool scene as well. The next scene, Jake is actually opening up the door to his apartment, and he sees that Bill is sleeping, and he lets him know that Oswald got the job. And at the same time, you're also wondering who shot General Walker. Was it really Lee Harvey Oswald? And there's a scene here where George de Mohrenschildt approaches Oswald about this, and Oswald's like, no, I wouldn't waste my time with General Walker. And this kind of puts a question in your head as far as, well, was it really Lee Harvey Oswald? Are they going down the wrong path when it comes to thinking it was him? So they kind of put that in your head, and I thought that was pretty cool, kind of questioning it a little bit. Of course, Jake states, and he also thinks that Lee Harvey Oswald is just completely lying about this to George de Mohrenschildt. Also in this episode, you find out that that Mimi, the secretary at the school, has cancer and that she's dying. They become friends, you know, Jake and her. So it's sad to her. And she wants him to promise her that she'd continue being a friend with Deke and also to marry Sadie. You know, she says that's just the right thing to do. So this is where it's triggered in your head that, okay, they could possibly get married. And, you know, knowing not to change things from the past, you know, we know that he can do this. So he's kind of put this in his head like, okay, I love her, but do I really marry her? So I like that. I like the fact that they actually did that. The next scene is where I have a problem, which I discussed at the very beginning of this video. It's Lee Harvey Oswald's birthday, and he's having a birthday party upstairs in the apartment. Jake comes home to find that Bill isn't there in the apartment, but he hears some noise from upstairs, and it turns out that Bill's up there with Lee Harvey Oswald, drunk, completely drunk, and Jake goes up there to try to stop him, you know, because obviously a lot can go wrong in this situation. So I want to say that there's problem with this, but on the other hand, they have to put something like that in there because of the fact that you have to be kind of stressed out, as the audience. Is something going to happen? We don't know. So another tricky situation here is that in this pushing and shoving fight that they had, a lamp fell over and Lee Harvey Oswald found the bug that was on there. And of course the look on Jake's face is priceless. But fortunately, Lee Harvey Oswald blames the FBI. He feels that they've been following him this entire time. So in one way, this whole scene was ridiculous to me, but on the other hand, I kind of understand it. So I'm going to give it a pass on this, and it's still enjoyable to watch. Later on, you really see how close Bill and Lee Harvey Oswald have got. And I thought this is, in one way, it's still cringeworthy to watch because you just don't know what's going to happen. But on the other hand, again, I thought it was cool that the show would do this. And that's where Jake approaches the apartment building, and he sees Lee Harvey Oswald sitting on the steps, aiming a gun, the same weapon that kills JFK, down the street. Bill sits down next to him, and he takes his turn with the weapon, and he says the term, if you don't, or he says something of the terms that everybody in Kentucky, where Bill's from, actually shoots weapons. So he at this point, this triggers in Jake's head that he could potentially be the second shooter. And I thought that was pretty cool, because we all know that the conspiracy stuff, that there could be a second shooter, there could be a third shooter. So when he actually did this, I thought it was pretty cool. However, he kind of put his fingerprints on that weapon, so Lee Harvey Oswald could have cleaned up those prints in the meantime, but it kind of puts you, making you think that, hey, later on, are they going to find Bill, his fingerprints on there, and kind of tie him to the potential shooting later on. So I thought that was, again, I thought it was pretty cool that they put that in there. So Jake at this time sees the potential second shooter, so he knows he has to actually put him out of that picture during that day. So what happens is that he later on approaches Bill and tells him that, hey, Marina has gone into labor and we need to go to the hospital right now to help her out since Lee's not over there. And so turns out that Jake is going to have him committed. So he wants to have him committed so he knows he can take away that chance that there is a second shooter. So it's kind of a sad scene, honestly. But as an audience member, I totally understand that he needs to do what it takes to save JFK, and he needs to take Bill out of the equation, which is what he did right here. So right after this, he goes to spy on Oswald some more, and this is the part where I get a little bit of screen time. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you a picture of it, and then I'll discuss some things, and I'll come right back. I guess I'm a little biased when it comes to this episode, because finally I get some type of screen time, which is not much. It's 20 seconds of me just standing next to the stairs. So again, I'm not, I didn't have any lines at all in this, but the experience that I had was well worth it. The whole week. Again, we shot like 15-hour days, and again, most of the time it was just like, them telling me to stand here and do this. So as you can see on the screen capture I have here, there's me right there just standing on the stairs, and I'm talking to this guy who's sitting on the stairs, and Lee Harvey Oswald is going down, and that's where he meets George Mornshield. So it was fun, and we did like the scene, 6 different times, 6 different takes. But again, there's not much I had to do myself. So, but yeah, it was interesting. So that's kind of why I'm a little biased with this episode and like it, honestly. So in this scene, it's actually George de Mohrenschildt that Jake is more interested in. And because what Al had said, that is, you need to at least eliminate the possibility that George de Mohrenschildt had anything to do with this. And if that's the case, then go ahead and assassinate Lee Harvey Oswald. So what happens is Lee Harvey Oswald is given an envelope, which appears to be some type of money that he takes from George de Mohrenschildt and walks away. So, of course, this is questionable. And then later on, he continues to follow George de Mohrenschildt, and George is going to like a flower shop, and while he's out of this car, Jake goes in the back seat, and when George comes back, he's choking him. He's pretending to be like the FBI or the CIA, and he tells him that he knows what he's up to, and that he knows that he is with Lee Harvey Oswald and planning on killing JFK. And at this time, George de Mohrenschildt's like, I don't know what you're talking about, It's a pretty good scene, pretty good acting as far as the choking, honestly. He was asking him what was in the envelope that he gave him. He's like, I paid him because he did some yard work for him. So he pretty much took this threat and thought that, okay, George de Mohrenschildt had nothing to do with this, so he's done with George de Mohrenschildt. So I thought that was pretty cool, the way they did that. It was actually pretty cool. So we are near the end of the episode, and again, they leave it on somewhat of a cliffhanger. And what happens is, as Jake is trying to go home, he calls Sadie up, and he decides to, he's ready to get married. She kind of laughs at the moment why he would bring that up now, and I think at this point he's ready to assassinate Lee Harvey Oswald, but he's also, I think in his head, he wants to marry her and maybe even live in the past, or possibly bring her to the future, so maybe she can get the scar healed better, since the medical treatment is better in 2016 than it was in 1963. So I thought that was pretty cool that they put that in there as well. So after he's done with the phone call, he gets out of the phone booth and he's heading back towards his car, and he gets jumped by like 6 different guys. And it turns out that it's some of the bookies that was trying to collect some money from him, because they know something's up between him and Bill. As far as all the gambling they've been doing, they've taken a lot of money from these people, so they beat the crap out of Jake. And he wakes up in the hospital, and he's hallucinating because he sees Sadie at the hospital, but then he also sees his ex-wife, Christy, which we met at the very beginning. They got the divorce, and it goes back and forth, and he slips in and out of sleep, and then you also hear from the doctor talking to Sadie. They don't know how long it'll take Jake to recover, if he'll even recover at all. So that's the end of the episode. It leaves you hanging while Jake's in the hospital. So again, this episode makes me want to continue on with the series, and I do highly recommend it. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a strong 8. So this is a episode that's great to watch, and again, it will make you want to continue on to the end of the series. We still have 2 more episodes till the end of it, so I will continue with this very shortly, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. If you haven't watched the series at all, I highly recommend watching it. I'm going to continue saying that. So, all right, everybody, if you can go ahead and go to Facebook, go to facebook.com/DVD Review Dude, and go ahead and give that page a like. I haven't updated much, but I will start updating very shortly again. Also, please subscribe here. I would like to see more people subscribe. If you can, that'd be awesome. And all right, thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate it, and we will talk to you next time when we will go to episode 7. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.